Hello, my name is Tove. Welcome back to my channel, Tove Knits. Happy Saturday, everyone. It is a beautiful fall day here in the Netherlands, and I'm here to talk about my October knitting. The rain has stopped in the Netherlands, the sun is shining finally, and I've been into town for a little bit of me time this morning. Had a cup of coffee and a cheesecake at a local cafe. Did some knitting and enjoying a beautiful fall day. I hope you all are well. Today I have 2 finished objects, a bunch of updates on my whips, and of course, a new cast on, which I did this morning. Before we start with my 2 finished objects, I need to update you guys on the Carlie sweater. I did in fact sew in the buttons. I wore it yesterday in the office and I absolutely love it. Here is a picture of with the buttons on. I have it upstairs now, so I'm not gonna go and get it, but you can see I did in fact finish it. I'm wearing today my favorite story sweater from Kutovakika, Veronica Lindberg, because this is a perfect in-between seasonal sweater that I absolutely love. Right, so let's go on with my first finished object, and that is my Carlie sweater from Knitting for Olive. This is a project where I wanted to work with my Drops Air, which this yarn is, Drops Air. I bought Drops Air a while ago, maybe almost a year ago, and I've been waiting for the perfect sort of simple yet classic sweater, and the Carlie sweater checked all the marks. It has a saddle shoulder technique, which to me is more exciting than a raglan, I think, with a fit-in shoulder, I think it's called. Anyway, it fits me really well. Really enjoy that technique. I did the neckline half the size. I didn't do the double neckline as the pattern wanted. And I finished it off with a split hem. It was a bit, it was a quick knit. I enjoyed it. Drops Air is a little bit difficult to, or it's not as smooth to knit with as normal wool, because I don't know, it's a tube that you blow in the fibers. That tube is maybe not as smooth as maybe proper wool is. But anyway, I really enjoy, I really am happy with it, and I'm gonna definitely wear this one a lot, I think, in October and November. Since it's Drops Air, it's quite light, as the name suggests, so it's a proper sort of fall sweater when it's not too warm, and definitely a good one for the Netherlands where it doesn't get that cold. Done. Second finished object was completely, well, I did have a plan to knit a hat, but I didn't maybe have planned to knit a hat right now. But a morning this week, it got quite cold and I actually didn't have a hat to wear that I want to wear. So finally, I just decided that I wanted a hat. And instead of just knitting a hat, I also wanted to do an experiment, and that is to see how long it takes to knit a hat. The yarn I knew I was gonna use for the hat was the Tessel natural wool that I bought, or the Tesselar wool. Tesselar is the type of sheep that I bought on Tessel. The Witte Tesselar is the yarn store in town. And this is 100% natural, undyed wool. Bit rustic, but it really smooths out when you wash it. So that turned out really well. Here it is. The pattern I chose was Twisted by Kutovakika, one of her hat patterns in her second book, Knits to Wear. It's a double, it becomes triple, folded one by round rib, and then these twisted braids up into the brim of the hat. Super cute. So this was really interesting to follow along how long it takes to knit the different parts of a hat. And the final time spent was 5 hours, 18 minutes. So that means that if you have the stamina for it, I did this over 2 days. Did I do it over 2 days? I did this over 3 days. And if you have a stamina for it, you can then, of course, knit it in a day. So it's a perfect gift knit. And it's a perfect, oh my God, it's getting cold knit. And that was the one for me. Super happy about it. You can really feel the rustic, but I really enjoy the braid look of the braids when it is in this rustic yarn. It pops really well. And the double folded rib makes it super warm. It took like 52 grams, so you can definitely get 2 hats from a ball of yarn if you want to. Do I want to do that? Maybe it'll be a good gift knit for me as well to do for the second half of this game. All right, those are my finished objects for the first part of October, and I'm wondering if that will be all of my finished knits for October. We shall see. Let's talk whips, and I will talk about them in the order of age, as I always do. My oldest whip is my Doodle Tee. And I said that I didn't have much progress on the Doodle Tee in September. And I promised you last time that I would have 1 doodle finished this podcast and 1 doodle finished for the next podcast. So basically I'm gonna do one every 2 weeks now until it's done. And I would like to have finished this in 2025. Now, less talking, more showing. This is the Doodle Tee. The yoke is a pattern, Heart's Content by Jennifer Bealey, I think she was called. But after that is all my design. The last one I have showed you is this orange and green stripe effect. And then I've added a little flower motif. It's really difficult to see when it's not, when it's the last doodle, but that's the next pattern, a little flower. I am super happy with this one, and it went so fast. I think the Doodle Tee in itself, it doesn't take long to knit because it's color work and it's a very short motif, so it's quite fun to do. It's the thinking and the planning that takes the longest. I'm letting it take as sort of gradually or naturally I need it to be, so I'm still happy with it. I have decided my next motif, and that is an homage to the fall. It will be super cute mushrooms. So next week I'm gonna sit down and see what colors I'm gonna choose, but definitely one of the darker ones I have, and that's gonna be really exciting. So that's the Doodle Tee. How long shall I go? Well, I think I I did do a try on. I didn't take any pictures. I'm so bad at that. I need to become a better picture taker. I'm in a millennium, so it doesn't come naturally to me to take pictures. I did do a try on, and I'm sort of like halfway down the body. So I still have quite some knitting to do, but that's fine because I have a lot of yarn still left, so that's no problem. Nice. That's the doodle tee by me. My next finished object. No. My next whip would have almost been a finished object if I wouldn't have run out of yarn. I think like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, or like 2 podcasts ago, I said, oh yeah, I only have so and so much yarn. I'm afraid it might run out. Let's see how far I come. Well, this is how far I came. There you go. Before I ran out of yarn. I knew that this was a real possibility because I only bought the amount of yarn to do a t-shirt version of this. And if you do a long sleeved with balloon sleeved, you use a lot of yarn, a lot of extra yarn. But I wanted a long sleeved t-shirt or a shirt, because then I knew that I was going to be able to wear it for the next coming 6 months instead of waiting until next spring to do it. So I am happy with that. I'm fine with that. The needles are actually not on at the moment. This mohair yarn has so much structure that I actually have live stitches, which is completely crazy to me, but it's fine. It'll be fine. What did I do from last time? I think last time I showed you that I did the sleeves. I did the ruffle, and it's super cute with the ruffle actually. And I did like a good chunk on the body. I did buy now a last ball of yarn, which I will then hold double in the ball itself. And I will finish it with maybe like a 10 centimeter more, and then finish it off with a I-cord bind off, I think, as I did for the arms, and as the pattern calls for the neck as well. I think that'll be fine and a nice balance to it. This is, sorry, yeah, so did I say what it's called? Yeah, the souffle. Did I say the souffle? It's the souffle by Penrose Knits. The yarn is Lana Grossa Bella, super soft, super light, and really, really good choice for this pattern. And that's why I'm not at all bummed that I have to buy more yarn, because I really want this to be like wearable and usable. And as it is right now, I definitely think it will be wearable and usable if I just have a little bit more length. So the yarn will come next week. So yeah, this probably will be a finished object next time. Let's go for that. That would be very nice. Okay, next up is what I would call my main whip. Not in the, I mean, it's my biggest whip. It's my most elaborate whip at the moment. And it's the whip I would like to finish as fast as possible because I would like to wear it now. It's perfect weather for it. And that is the Tursa sweater / jacket from Moonstruck Knits. Last time I showed you that I started on the body portion of this jacket. And I have now come, what is this, like 20-25 centimeter down on the body. Look at that color work. You can't see it because it's the inside. Look at that color work. Okay, let's talk about it. This is a mosaic color work pattern, knit in the most crazy way that I couldn't even imagine it myself. That's why I'm not a designer. I let other people design it. I just knit it. You pick up all the stitches all the way from the arm to over the shoulders and to the next arm, and you knit the back portion. Then you pick up and you knit the arms in the front, and then you go on with the body after that. It is mosaic knitting, meaning that you do have 2 yarns going at the same time, but you do one go over and then back with 1 yarn, and you slip all the other stitches that should not be that color, and then you switch around the colors, if that makes any sense. I chose a sport weight natural wool from Istex. It's called Fialalopi. Fialalopi, it's the sport weight brother of Letlopi. It is rustic, it is not thick now because it's sport weight, but it's rustic, and it's sort of keeps it warm for sure. I know Letlopi, and the more you wear it, the more you wash it, the smoother it will become, and that I'm very excited about trying on for this one as well. Now, I at this moment know the pattern by heart, so for me it's quite okay. It was really difficult in the beginning to realize where I was in the pattern, also with the mosaic color work, but now it's sort of you just trudging along, and now you're starting to repeat the colors as well. So you had all the colors, and then sort of you do the opposite. So now I know what color I should be using, and I know what the pattern says. Nonetheless, it's a lot of knitting. Not that and to be honest, every time I get to the body, I get bored. I'm really trying to get myself through this. Usually at this point, I will stop. I will do the sleeves, I will do the neckline and so on, but I cannot do that on this pattern. I have to keep going until I'm done with the body. So we're working on it. I would like, goals for this pattern for this coming 2 weeks is to be done with, so I'm working on the black part now, so to be done with black and white probably. That would be progress for sure. Last podcast I talked about the fact that my stash goals for this year is to reduce my stash a little bit, but that's not my main goal. It's to reduce or to balance it better with all the fibers I have, and therefore I have to work up some of my synthetics and mixed yarn still this year. I have a big boy ball of yarn, which is already sort of earmarked for a blanket for my son, and I'm starting to itch about that a little bit. I would love to start that project, and I think it's also time for another blanket. I always usually have a blanket on my needles, and right now I don't because I finished one of the blankets and then you have to take a break. But now I think I'm itching a little bit with a blanket. So that'll come and that'll be fine. But due to this plan, I cast on 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, a project, no, 2 weeks ago, because I showed it in the last podcast, with 2 colors of supermarket mohair synthetic, sport weight mohair, almost DK mohair, and that was the Tekla by Copenhagen Fibers. This is one of the, let me put it like that. I had the yarn, I got the pattern for free, so I really didn't think it through that much. And would I have thought it through, I would have realized that I'm not a fan of purling. This pattern is 6x6 rib, So 6 stitches knitting, 6 stitches purling throughout the whole pattern. And I don't like purling. What am I doing to myself? Anyway. But I am trudging along. It has a very cute saddle shape as well. And it is very cute with this striped effect, both horizontal and vertical, because it uses 2 types of colors, which I had. I had a beige pink and a beige brown. Together, it gets this subtle striped effect. Is it the nicest yarn I've ever used? Absolutely not. It's quite not scratchy, but like plasticky. But with the mohair effect, and it's quite light, it will be a nice sort of pull-on piece. The fact that my needles are quite short, it is also a little bit difficult to see, but it is supposed to be an oversized sweater. I haven't gone to the sleeves yet, but with the sleeves I think that'll open up as well. I also think that blocking this will open up even more because it's rib. So it will be like a huge, not as huge as the pattern calls for. It calls really like a boxy effect. I don't like that, so I did one size smaller than recommended ease. This is how far I've gone onto the body, so I'm working on it. Now again, I will get bored by doing bodies. So right now I have as a goal that I do 1 stripe brown, 1 stripe beige every day. Before I do anything else, I do this. So that means I do take me like 15-20 minutes, meaning I have progress every day, and I feel good about that. So quite cool. With this rib effect, when you do the body forward and backwards, not in the round, you could potentially just, you know, knit, switch. I didn't, because I realized that my purling and my knitting is so different in size that I mirror purled, and the wrong side. A little bit weird, but doable. And then the outcome is quite, you see that? Yeah, it's quite even. I am excited to work up all this yarn. Again, it's a fluffy, lightweight yarn, so it won't be much grams, but it is it takes quite a lot of space in my stash. So that's nice. I have 2 other balls of those, so that'll be enough. Proper long, proper sort of oversized style. Cool. So that brings me to, I have the doodle tee on my needles. I have a break for that, but I know what to do, so that's fine. I'm not working on that at the moment. The souffle is waiting for yarn, so I'm not working on that at the moment. I have the Tursa, which is my main whip, and I have the Tekla, which I'm doing a teeny tiny bit every day. So that opened up with, and when I did the Tekla, when I finished the Tekla this morning, and I did some stripes or some rows from the Tursa, I sort of gone, oh, now I'm bored again. So if you only have 2 whips, you're allowed to start a 3rd, because really the other 2 are on hold. That is my girl math for casting on another project this morning, or at the cafe actually. There is nothing, I felt so good sitting there with my coffee, with my cheesecake, and I was like, let's do some cast on. Great. It is a Christmas present. The recipient won't understand what this means because he's 3 years old and he's not watching my videos. But it's a Christmas present for my nephew and my godson. You've seen this pattern before. It's the Ingrid Junior. I knitted one for my son that is also 3 years old. So those two boys are 3 weeks apart, and they don't look like twins, but you know, it's very cute when they were running around together. My brother and his son visited us last week. So that's when I decided to knit him a Christmas sweater. And this is how far I came this morning. Let's see. This is the back yoke in the moss stitch, and you have this weird, so you do short rows to create the yoke, the back yoke. That's why I have like a middle of the row. So I need to finish this piece up now. The Ingrid sweater Junior was, so I think, was it a year ago or this spring still? I debated if I want to do the Ingrid sweater my size to myself or the Salty Day sweater. Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit and Salty Day sweater by Kutovakika. And I chose for the Salty Day sweater by Kutovakika for my structured sweater at that point. I think that was a really good decision. I have never worn a sweater more than I did the Salty Day sweater. But however, I did want to try the Ingrid sweater, so I opted to buy the junior version of that pattern. And I knitted one for my son, as I said. He hasn't worn it yet. It hasn't been the weather for it. And every time I put it on, he really doesn't like it. I don't know. My children really doesn't like to wear knitted things, which is, it'll come. Anyway. I'm knitting him, my nephew, exactly the same size 3 to 4 years. So that will be this year and hopefully next winter as well. Super good. Yeah, so the Ingrid Junior sweater, I thoroughly enjoyed it as I remembered, and it's very nice with these chunks of different kind of textures. You keep yourself busy and entertained. And it's exactly the same yarn. It's the Hobby Wool 100% wool, Hobby Friends 100% wool. It's the same color, and I don't know why I bought so much of it, but definitely I will have enough for 2 sweaters now for the boys. So that's super cute. Cool. So I have 5 whips, 2 on hold, 3 main ones. Yeah, that's good. Good. It's the middle of October, guys. And what will happen the rest of October? Nothing much as far as like normal life. It's quite quiet now. We had a bunch of family over. We had 2 birthdays. My daughter and my husband both had birthdays this month. So it's been quite busy. Really fun, and now it's sort of time to relax a little bit. I'm looking forward to November, and I really look forward to December. So this October is like a midway build up for the rest and the end of the year. We have grown, the family has grown a little bit here on YouTube, so I'm super happy and excited about that, and I welcome all the new people to our little corner of the internet. If you would like to give me a like, and you know, I don't know, share it with other knitting friends, I would be super happy. And please tell me where you're from in the comments and maybe what you're knitting on at the moment. I would love to build ourselves a little bit community here. As I said, I'm a millennium, so this doesn't come like naturally to me. So it's really exciting actually to be here with you. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me. And I'll see you again in 2 weeks, thereabout. And until then, I wish you all joy and happiness and coziness in your knitting and your life. Bye everyone.